Hello, everyone. My name is Rochelle Innocent, and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan, support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday. We just dropped a thought piece this past Sunday, so be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les meufs et les mecs. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today's topic of discussion is mental health. And on the topic of discussion this week is a continuation a little bit from Tuesday's video, which talked a little bit about healing and about how I found my healing back in nature. And part of that process involved developing more respect for my voice. And so I think that part of what takes place when you suffer from narcissistic abuse or you suffer from abusive relationships is you start to really doubt your voice. You start to doubt your own direction, your own choices, and your own decision making. And while I still was very adamant in doing the things that I felt inclined to do, that I felt drew me in a specific direction, there was a lot of self-doubt that I was having to navigate because of how much criticism that I would get on a continuous basis for the choices that I was making. And I was surrounding myself with people who were just constant critics, the critical Cathys, regardless of where they were on the gender spectrum, just overly critical of the choices that I was making. And I feel now in hindsight that I've made all the right choices for my life. Even the choices that ended up being mistakes, that ended up being fails, I learned so much from. So now moving forward, as I start to think about like what my circle will look like, what kinds of people I want to surround myself with, I'm not looking for perfect people, right? I'm looking for people who show up for me and who are there for me, regardless of what flaws that they carry. And so if it is the case that I choose to bring someone into my circle or to have a relationship with someone or to develop a partnership with someone, and then I am met with criticism, that for me feels too similar to what it is that I spent so much time healing and repairing myself from. I am not interested in being around people who feel inclined or who feel entitled to criticize my choices. And this doesn't mean that I don't respect contrary opinions. I welcome and I appreciate contrary contrary opinions, I want you to vocalize those opinions 100%. But I think that when we think about healing and we think about the kinds of relationships that build us up and not tear us down, we need to really think about how constructive this feedback is and how repetitive it is, right? So I think that someone who's just looking out for your best interest will vocalize their opinion once or twice, but they're not going to try to push it down your throat. But for those people who are just seeing someone being introduced into your life as a threat, it changes the way that they want to show up in your life. It changes the dynamic that they saw flourishing before this person got brought in. And so now they're looking to manipulate and control the situation. That for me is toxic. It's a massive red flag, and it's something that I have no room for in my life moving forward. So while I'm always open and receptive to external opinions, in exchange, I want a respect for the decision that I'm making. And that's the new normal for me. I have always danced to the rhythm of my own drum, and that's going to be the case regardless of what relationship I find myself in, what partnerships I align myself to, or what people I start to bring in closer to me. I'm always going to dance to the tune of my own drum. And while I will always be receptive to feedback, I want everyone around me to feel seen, heard, and to feel appreciated. In exchange, I need my opinions and the direction that I choose to take to be respected, even if it's not in alignment with what you think works best for me. And I think that it's super important that we all start to recognize the power of our own choice and our own opinion on what is best for ourselves. And I have to say, having survived so much abuse, that my opinion has always been the one that was most aligned to what I needed in life. When you're dealing with people who compete with you, who resent you, who have contempt for you, but they're still sort of titled as friends and family, you have to navigate a terrain where you're having to really develop the acumen to recognize when this feedback is coming from a place of competition and when this feedback is coming from a well-intentioned place. And I find that it's really important that as I recultivate an inner circle and relationships and professional connections, reintegrating myself in this new terrain and in this new society, it's important that those boundaries are respected and that all of the boundaries that I feel inclined to create to protect my mental health, as I make sure that I'm not regressing on the healing that I've accomplished, that those boundaries are intact and are respected by everyone around me. And if they're not, I'm not gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna hold myself accountable, which means I'm going to make the moves and the decisions and the choices to create distance between myself and anyone who has an issue with my decision making, with me needing to have my decisions respected. And I think too many of us, we have no real barometer by way of the threshold when it comes to the amount of criticism that we take in from the people who are well-intentioned. And I think that, you vocalize your opinion a couple of times and then respect the decision that the person that you're giving your opinion to is making. And I think that oftentimes we allow people to offer their criticism however it is they feel inclined to do so, and we never expect a respect for the choices that we make moving forward. We are comfortable tolerating contempt, tolerating people's exasperation with our autonomy and with our independence. And I'm saying that for me, my boundary is if I experience exasperation, contempt, irritation, frustration, anger, more contrary opinions, ripping down the people and the person that I want to spend my life with because of the choices that I've made and the fact that you don't agree with those choices, I'm going to immediately put a hard line, and those relationships are going to be done. And not the relationships with the people that I've chosen to align myself to, but the relationships with those whose criticism is much too loud. And I think that we all just need to be more cognizant of the criticism that is only loud when it is contrary to the choices that they would prefer we make. And I have zero threshold for people who are seeking to manipulate and control my life decisions and manipulate and control the trajectories in my life. I only want to make room for people who want to see the best for me, who want also for me to give them the best of me, and who fundamentally respect my decision, respects my choices, and who seeks that reciprocity in exchange. Those are the healthy relationships that I'm making room for. Every other relationship need not apply. And I think that that's a healthy boundary just to get things started off with. And who knows how this evolves. But I think when it comes to healing, we need to protect our healing. We don't heal to put ourselves back in environments that are similar to the ones that we pulled ourselves out of. We heal and we align ourselves to environments with people who are also healed, who also have the same intentions and motivations and aspirations that we're hoping for, so that we're not putting ourselves in an environment where we're getting teared down, or we're allowing the people that we're bringing into our inner circle to get torn down as well. So that's really important, I think, when it comes to the relationships, personal, professional, related to project purpose, when it comes to any partnership that I have in place. Have your opinions, vocalize them respectfully, but then also expect that I want you to respect my choices, even if they're not in alignment with what you yourself would choose. Ultimately, it's my life, it's my choice, and we should all be okay with that. In any case, that was it, but definitely not all. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page, so definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, then I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops largely focused on self-mastery over and above those events. So check it out. Be part of our game changer community, being part of the change that you want to see, allowing us a small role to play in your journey. We are on the road to 1K, so we do invite you to follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.